Hello and welcome back to PRATHAM Test Prep YouTube channel. Today we are back with another round of Boost Your Vocabulary and this is session number 22. So let us quickly start. Now in today's lecture we are going to cover certain idioms. So let's have a look at them one by one. Now the first idiom for the day is under the weather. When someone says that he or she is under the weather, it basically means that the person is feeling sick, the person is unwell. So have a look at the sentence. You should stay at home when you feel under the weather. So whenever you're feeling sick, whenever you feel very low, you should stay at home and take rest. You know how during COVID times particularly, we were asked that if you have a bit of fever or cold or cough, then you should probably stay at home, isolate yourself, get tested. So you could say during COVID times, whenever we felt under the weather, we preferred being isolated and staying at home. So quite an easy idiom, but used very frequently in our day-to-day life. So let's have a look at the next one. All right, the next idiom is the ball is in your court. So when you say the ball is in your court, it basically means that you are responsible to take some sort of move, or maybe you could say to take some sort of decision. So have a look at the sentence. You have scored the highest marks. Now the ball is in your court. You can ask for gift from your parents. So imagine that your parents tell you that, okay, you have to score X amount of marks. And once you get that, then you can decide whatever you want, and whatever surprise or gift that you want, you would get it. So if, for example, your dream college is to get into IIM Indore, or you're looking forward to getting into one of the best NLUs that we have in the country, and you get that, then you could probably ask for an iPhone 14 Pro. That is what you're looking forward to. PS5 and 6 and whatever latest models that you guys keep looking out for, right? So that is there. But to be able to do that, the ball needs to be in your court. So of course you have to work hard. Anyway, let's move forward to the next one. Okay, so the next idiom is sit on the fence. Now, whenever there are two options, right, or possibilities or chances for certain event to take place, and you do not want to take any particular side, or you do not want to make a particular decision. For example, if you have two best friends who have had an argument and you are asked to take a side, whether you want to go with friend A or with friend B, and you know that if you go with friend A, B is going to feel bad. If you go with friend B, then your A is going to feel bad. So you choose to sit on the fence. You choose to not take a decision, just be quiet. In other words, maybe you could say something that you want to be a little slow. All right, Saksham, got that. I'll go a little slow for you. So have a look at the sentence. You have to take the decision on joining the classes. You can sit on the fence, right? So we are saying that you can't really, just be there without taking a decision. You sort of have to decide whether you want to join the classes, whether you want to study or not. So, for example, now that you guys will be nearing your pre-boards, the ones who are in 12th right now, right? And the ones who are in 11th, of course, you would have to study harder in 12th. So you have two responsibilities. Number one is to study for your entrance exams, and number two, that you also have to study for your board exams. And you cannot really choose one, and you cannot choose not to study for either. So when you have to take a decision, you're forced to take it because of the circumstances. You need to sit on the fence. Let's have a look at the next one. Okay, the next idiom is take it with a pinch of salt. So whenever you are being very serious about something and you're kind of being extremely tensed, so your friend or maybe some of your parents, or in your case your psychologist, your school counselor, or very close friend or any teacher might just ask you, you know what, you just take it with a pinch of salt. So it means you should not take something too seriously. You should just kind of be a little chilled out towards it, right? So for example, let's imagine that you are in your school setup, and what has happened is that a friend of yours has cracked a joke which you did not like, and you're kind of in the mood to fight a bit. And another friend of yours tells you, you know what, just take it with a pinch of salt. You don't have to react so much. Just be cool about it, right? Have a look at the sentence. Reporters mostly exaggerate the news, so some news should be taken with a pinch of salt, right? So what we are kind of trying to say over here is that sometimes what you see in the media, what you see in news is kind of exaggerated, and you can't always be angry about every single thing. So you should just take a little chill pill and let it go. The best example that I can think of right now is when a couple of years back I saw this news in some Hindi news channel which showed Swarg ka rasta mil gaya, and they're showing pictures of stairs leading to somewhere in the sky. Obviously, that was a fictional image, but that was genuinely news, and it was telecast as breaking news of the day. Imagine. So every time you can't be angry, okay, what's happening to journalism and all, sometimes you can just be a little chilled out about it and just let it go. Be easy breezy about it. So that is what you mean by taking something with a pinch of salt. Alright. Next is go down in flames. So when you fail miserably at something, that is called going down in flames. Now if you look at the GIF image over here, it says Mayday, Mayday. Now, sometimes what happens is that if you have seen some sort of a movie in which this is shown, that if there's a pilot, right, and you realize that the plane is about to crash or some engine problem is there, the engine has failed, there's some or the other issue happening, right? So you're trying to contact the help center, you're trying to contact the people on the ground who can help you with something. So you keep saying Mayday, 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 right? That's something that is kind of done. So when you call Mayday, you're basically asking for help because there is some sort of an emergency. Since the contractor did not read the contract properly, so his project went down in flames. Now, since the contractor did not read the contract properly, see, this is something you need to understand, and especially the ones who are preparing for any of the law exams. If you become a lawyer and if you are responsible for creating certain contracts, you would have to be extremely particular with the kind of language that you're using because it could be manipulated, it could be interpreted in various ways. And precisely that is one reason why a lot of lawyers charge a hell amount of money for making even one single contract, because you have to be extremely particular in terms of whether one word can be misinterpreted by the opposite party, and a case could be filed on you or not. So if you do not read the contract, if you do not understand the terms and conditions very, very clearly, the project or whatever deal you're trying to work out may go down in flames. It could miserably fail. The next one is to cut corners. Okay. Now, if you look at the GIF, what you see, there's this person whose haircut is happening and it's sort of being cut in a very, very abrupt way. And then you'll also notice that there's a teardrop on his cheeks, right? Post that. Now, when you are doing something in a very fast way, you're trying to make an easy move for something, right? You're trying to do something in a very cheap way. When I say cheap way, it means like सस्ते में कर रहे हो, but उससे नुकसान ज़्यादा हो रहा है. So you could to some extent also say something that's very easy to do, but probably unethical, number one, illegal, and is probably causing harm to someone else because of that. So if you look at the sentence, sometimes cab drivers try to cut corners to avoid the traffic. So let's say you see that another second there's going to be a red signal, but you are just speeding away and you're trying to cross that, right, while driving. Let's say a cab driver itself, not you as an individual. So you're trying to cut corners, you're trying to do something in a very, very easy way rather than doing the right thing, which is waiting for the cigarette signal to turn green again and then making a move, right? So that is what is cutting corners. Please remember that cutting corners is not done for good deeds in terms of the consequence could always be bad because of these things. So for example, traffic rules are made for you to follow for your own safety. If you do not do that, of course, it's something bad. You should not be doing it. Similarly, cheating in exams is wrong. That is called cutting corners. So you should not be doing that. Alright, moving forward to the next idiom, which is straight from the horse's mouth. Now, let's say you hear a rumor or a gossip about someone, and then you try to confront the person whom it is related to, and the person accepts that yes, that is true. So you say that it's straight from the horse's mouth. So you're getting the information directly from the person's mouth regarding who the news is, right? So if you hear something regarding person A and you go to that person A and you ask that, okay, can you tell me if that's right or not? Okay. So the person says, yes, it is true. So that is being said straight from the horse's mouth. Have a look at the sentence. I have got to know about his secret, not from anyone else, but directly from the person, from the horse's mouth. So the person जिससे आपको सुनने को मिला है, you say it regarding that person. That person is referred to as the horse, right? All right. Next idiom is to get a handle. Now, when you get a handle, it kind of means that you develop an understanding of something, right? So, have a look at the sentence and then we can discuss this idiom in a little more detail. It will take him some time to get a handle on how things run in this part of the world. Okay, let's say, uh, we come from India. We stay in the eastern part of the world. Our culture, our way of doing things is a little different if you compare yourself to the Western world, right? So if you go to the Western world, you will realize that certain things and certain festivals are a little different. Like in India, we do not really celebrate Thanksgiving at a very, very big level, right? It's okay. Very few people probably even celebrate that in our country. But in the West, that's considered to be a very, very, very big festival. So if you have a friend and you are in the US and they invite you for a Thanksgiving dinner, then it's a big deal for you to be a part of that setup, you could say, or that festival because it's a very big deal for them. Similarly, if you have a foreigner friend who has come to India and you invite that person, let's say, for Diwali celebrations now, you're trying to understand their culture, they are trying to understand your culture, so you're trying to get a handle, right? So, precisely what is being showed in this particular sentence. Now, I'm sure some of you watching the video right now are from 11th or 12th and you have mathematics and integration and probability at the later stage becomes one topic where people just want to run away from it, especially integration. So if you start understanding that, you can say I'm getting a handle regarding or on integration. Moving forward to the next one, which is whole 9 yards. Now, whenever you want to say something that is completely, that is in toto, that is entirety, right? We say it is whole 9 yards. So, in toto is a foreign word that you should know, which means in total, as a whole, as the entire thing together. And whole 9 yards is again an idiom which means exactly the same. So, have a look at the sentence. When I was little, my family always had lots of pets dogs, cats, hamsters, fish, rabbits, the whole 9 yards. So, we are basically saying when we were really young, we had this huge list of animals as pets at home. It's almost as if we had the entire zoo, right? So, you have the entire, or you could say you have whole 9 yards. Or you could use this particular idiom for various purposes. So, for example, if you want to say that, okay, as a guy, you have formal suits of various colors. You say you have gray, you have white, you have X, Y, Z, all the colors possible. So, you say you have a collection of suits in various colors, you have the whole 9 yards. Easy idiom, important, also could be used very easily in your day to day life. So, you should not really be forgetting the meaning of this particular one. नेक्स्ट इज टू टेक्स टू टू टैंगो. यू नो हिंदी में हम एक मुहावरा बोलते हैं ताली दो हाथों से ही बजती है, which means if there is something that has happened, right, it is not possible that only one person is at fault. Both the people involved will be some part or the else. Maybe one has done something 90% wrong, the other has done 10% wrong, but the mistake will be there from both the sides. So when you say something like most deeds, actions, or misdeeds require participation from two people, that is what means takes two to tango. Have a look at the sentence. She may want to argue, but it takes two to tango, and I won't stoop to her level. So you are saying that, okay, she is somebody who probably wants to argue with me, but she cannot do that till the time I don't start reacting, and I do not want to stoop to her level. So it's better if I stay quiet because the argument will not happen. Makes a lot of sense, no? Imagine that you have done something bad and your parents are really scolding you. If you don't do something bad, they will not scold you. So that fighting and an argument is not really going to happen if you don't do anything bad. So similarly, if you don't reply to this girl, she just cannot really argue with you, right? But if fighting is the ulterior motive, then she fails, of course, and miserably. So that is there. Alright. So that's all for today's video. I'm going to see you in the next one. Till then, take care, stay safe, and yes, happy Diwali to all of you. Please do not burn crackers. That is one thing you should always remember. Thank you so much, guys.